Hey, it's gone yellow. That means we're live and we're recording. Hello and welcome to Australian Transformers Weekly. We are your first and sometimes only choice for Australian Transformers news, opinions, feelings, and I don't know, what else have we got, Brad?
Love.
Yes. For Australian Transformers news, feelings, opinions, feel opinions, and love. This is episode 127. We are recording live on 20th of October 2017. I'm Jason. Joining me this week, we have Brad and Max. How are you doing, guys?
Good evening, guys. Busy week, busy week. Max, how are you over there?
I've been doing all right, thank you. Just technically finished my last year of school, so that's pretty exciting.
I just want to point out this is actually the first time I've been able to see Max's eyes on the podcast. There's normally a giant mop of hair there, but this week he's gone out and gotten himself a haircut to celebrate his last year of school.
Oh no, because I can't see when I'm driving.
Right. Well, so that will also be a problem.
Also, as this weather starts to heat up, the hair on top of one's head decreases. I've been trying to get mine cut too.
Yes, true. I was going to say we were talking about this earlier. The only just like minutes before the show started, I have had terrible sleep this week. I'm actually really exhausted. I'm really tired, and it's because the nights have been a little bit warmer, a little bit more humid in Sydney, and I'm really not dealing with it, frankly. If I fall asleep during the podcast, it's purely my fault and not yours.
Yeah, humidity is a pain. I'm glad I got out of tropical North Queensland.
There was excellent self-censorship there. I didn't know you were from tropical North Queensland.
Oh, no, when I went up there for the army.
Right. Oh, so you spent some time there.
Yeah.
So
had to climatise back again.
Well, despite the fact that I am a Queenslander, I'm from Brisbane. I lived a couple of years in Singapore. I'm really not dealing with the humidity. It's yeah. I feel terribly inadequate. What's been happening this week, guys?
We had a giveaway in the club.
Brad learned some lessons on how to run a giveaway.
Yeah. Don't put 8 o'clock in the morning while you're in traffic. Yeah, don't do it in the morning because we had a couple of complaints from our WA members. It was about 5:10 over there, so sorry, guys. But
yeah, so we should probably talk about what's actually gone on. You did a lightning giveaway for a G1 Rodimus Prime, and so we limited the number of tickets so that when it was 40, right? When all 40 tickets were sold, we just trigger the giveaway, and so it's a good opportunity for a bit of fundraising for the club, and it was mostly successful, except I think it was more successful than you thought in that the 40 tickets went just like that, and thus the Western Australian guys had no chance to actually participate. So we'll sort that out next time. We might be planning to do a few more of these. We might not. We're not going to necessarily tell people, but yeah, pretty good. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, no, we
filled up in like less than an hour or so.
Yeah,
absolutely.
An hour, all 40 were done. We had 2 people who had to refund money because the payment come through after the 40 tickets were gone. But no, it was great to see, and hopefully it's a sign of what's to come with the Christmas giveaway that we'll be launching in a couple of weeks.
May as well talk about it now. You've stacked it at the end of the show, but Christmas giveaway is coming up soon. We say giveaway; it's actually more of the Christmas donation drive. Yeah. We will give away some toys in exchange for donations.
Some we've got our biggest stocking yet this year. We've got 20 figures and items on offer. So
we've also got the largest number of people in the club ever. So yeah, in the discussion group anyway.
Yep. So everything in there from MPs, third party to some G1 keepsakes. So look forward to that in the next couple of weeks.
Fantastic.
Yeah, having had a look through the list of prizes that Brad put up, this is going to be the best one yet.
That Brad hasn't put up to the public.
That is shown us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stay
Look,
tuned.
we've seen the list. We're excited. There's not much more we can say about it. But in the next couple of weeks, there will be some interesting things going on in the group. And I suggest you have your $5 donations at the ready, and you might want to have a few of them. Let's see.
Yep, got to be in it to win it.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about some news. Actually, before we talk about news, we will just check in with the winner of Put Your Bot to Work Day. I knew I'd mess that up. Chris Turner is this week's winner with this lovely display of Unicron and his minions, just out enjoying a happy, nice day in the garden. Really.
What's the clear Unicron?
What's the
Any
what?
ideas? I should have asked him. The clear Unicron. What version of Unicron is this?
I don't know. Is that the recent platinum one? It looks pretty shiny and new.
Yeah.
Or is it the normal
Just the
version?
stand and the clear case. I don't.
The clear case.
It's good.
The clear case it's sitting on could be anything.
No, the clear case of Unicron, the orb.
Oh right, the clear outer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're right. It's not the standard edition. It's probably one of the reissues from recent years.
Yeah, it's the Universe one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now we got Cyclonus, Galvatron, and Scourger as well. 3 bots from 3 separate lines.
And a Matrix and a chain. So Enterprise.
Yep.
And there's Unicron's minicon stuck to the outer ring there. I actually didn't know you could do that with it.
There's a few holes around there. Yeah.
Yeah, there are actually. You can impale all sorts of robots on Unicron.
Very good, and congratulations to Leaf Prime on winning the 30-week entrant competition, which we gave away at Titans Return Croc. So.
Excellent. Shall we get on with some news? There's actually a few exciting stories to talk about this week.
Let's check out some bots.
We have glimpsed the future. Oh, let me see if I can make that a little bit bigger. There we go. We've glimpsed the future. It is Transformers Cyberverse. It is the new cartoon series. This is the first official artwork that we've seen of the series, but it does match up with some of the artwork that we've seen around the place in the last few months. You will remember that we've seen Bumblebee and I think Optimus Prime's design on a storybook recently. Does that ring bells to people?
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, there's been a few bits and pieces that have been leaked so far, and it seems to line up.
Yeah. So this is Transformers Cyberverse. This is our first look at Bumblebee and Windblade and Optimus Prime, who is controversially without a faceplate for.
I'm sure it comes out.
At least this photo. We'll see. We'll see. As people have pointed out, this does feature the return of Transformers noses. Transformers have
and
the
lips.
last
continuation. Of lips
they've had lips, but Transformers have been controversially again without noses for the last I think decade or so. Like Transformers Prime was not big on noses either. How do you smell? How do they smell? I hear you ask. Terrible is of course the answer, and now they can smell themselves because Bumblebee, Windblade, and Prime at least all feature very prominent schnozzes in the middle of their faces. And
they've replaced the animated chins.
Yes, the animated. Oh, they've still got chins actually, but the animated chins are gone and the noses are in this series. So Transformers Cyberverse is described as. It's kind of a mystery where Bumblebee's on a very important mission, but he can't remember what it is because he's got robo-amnesia or robonesia, as I'm going to coin the term right now. And so basically Bumblebee has to work to recover his memories, but fortunately his good friend Windblade is there to help. And the series does also feature Optimus Prime, although it doesn't look like Optimus Prime is necessarily going to be present all the time. He might be on the video screen a lot.
Yeah, or dead, looking at how he's ghosted out.
Into our ID.
Yeah. What I love is they're all smiling. Windblade's not, Why does she have to be a stick in the mud again?
It's kind of Windblade's thing, right? She's
Well,
smiling.
I was gonna say stick up her ass, but
she's smiling on the inside. How's that?
No, she's just a Debbie Downer.
Fair enough. Well, you said it, not me. Personally, I'm actually quite happy to see Bumblebee's G1 horns come back as well.
Yep.
That's a nice touch. What sort of thing? He's got the G1 horns, but with a more a little bit of a more movie-inspired robot mode. So it's quite nice to see a crossover between the two.
Yeah. I think his I think his bot mode looks a little bit like a cross between RID and a movie and G1. As you can sort of see that blue outline on his tires as well, and he's got the front of his car as his shoulder.
It does. It seems a bit like a simplified version of Don Figueroa's design from the 2010 Transformers comic.
Yeah, it does. I think there's definitely some comic influences on here. The thing that this actually makes me interested to see is what the toys are going to look like for this line.
Yeah,
I mean, we've had a couple of leaks of a little Legion figures so far, but it'd be interesting. So we got like a solid-looking Grimlock and Megatron, but it'd be interesting to see like how the larger scale figures pan out in terms of.
Yeah. Now this series is also apparently going to feature the return of the Decepticons in Force. So instead of sort of getting a figure here and there like you do, or a character here and there like you do in RID, there's going to be a lot more Decepticons, and yeah, I'm interested to see what happens. I think it's going to be making its premiere next year. I'm not sure if it's going to be later or earlier next year, but I feel like it was quite a while since quite a while between reveals for Transformers Animated and when the first episode premiered. So I feel like this is just sort of maybe just the animators getting the art style out there, maybe gathering a little bit of feedback. We'll see. But yeah, no, look, you'd have to assume that it's fairly well into production by now. I hope.
Well, the figures, like they got an 18-month window from when figures start to get designed before they come out. So
yeah, I've heard that as well. So yeah, like Max said, we've seen some leaks of some figures. So maybe it's kind of this time next year we might be seeing Cyberverse make its debut. We'll see. Maybe the cartoon will make its debut before the series, but I don't know if that's actually worked so well for Hasbro in the past. I think RID made its debut without having a supporting toy line in stores, and I think Prime did as well.
Yeah, because they had the first edition stuff and it all had to get changed.
Yeah, they did the first edition, and then they waited until after the series had premiered to put out the rest of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Well. Look, only time will tell how we go with the series release and the figure release for this. Any other thoughts on Transformers Cyberverse?
No, I'm digging the Prime design. I'm sure he's going to have a faceplate for battle, just like the movie, because we're incorporating the movie designs here somewhere. But
I think they've been incorporating elements of the movie designs for quite a while. I think like we saw this in Transformers Prime. Some of it carried over in a simplified way into RID, and I think it's almost mainstreaming some of the movie designs. So yeah.
Now with Windblade, because she only exists from one origin, should I say? Now
I don't know. Maybe just try to be slightly more contemptuous for the comics. Keep going.
My point is, we're going to have a third or fourth figure here of her as exactly the same character because they can't bring in elements of other series because she doesn't exist anywhere else. Can't they change her up a little bit, or not? This is how she looks everywhere else in those two other continuities. So.
I was reading the article that someone posted in the group this week about the worst Transformers designs ever, and the initial release of Windblade is rightfully there because she doesn't stand up without changing some parts of her feet and purchasing some extra pieces off Shapeways. But they also pointed out that like her face design with like the painted face and the head design is kind of culturally insensitive. And It surprises me that they keep doing it, because this is like the third or fourth incarnation of Windblade, but every single version of her has the same face design.
Yeah. Yeah, the RID one's got the face plate, but yeah, still. It's still got that red paint around the eyes and that.
It's more because people just haven't really kicked up a fuss about it. Like, I suppose if it was something in, you know, the movie.
Put her in the movie. Yeah, put her in the movie. We'll see what happens then.
Even then, we have Drift, and we have like Drift in the movies.
Oh, yeah.
No one seems to complain about him.
The hate for Drift. Oh, yeah, they do. They did an Age of Extinction, don't you worry. I've seen plenty of that.
We're not actually that worried about it, but you know.
I know.
Just sort of, you know, wondering why, you know, CBR chooses to talk about it, but it hasn't really seemed to be an issue for most people.
It's kind of this thing. Like, honestly, when Windblade was first announced, I was just sort of like, great, but what's with the face? And I feel like it's just sort of that thing. It's become that design of the character. But yeah, like no, like they're taking the opportunity to design some other characters a little bit differently. Maybe they should just give her a normal face. I don't know. Maybe it's the only way that they can actually distinguish Windblade instead of actually writing a proper female character.
Okay. Yeah, because the red paint and chest plates are different to Bumblebee enough that she doesn't look individual enough. Anyway.
Yeah. No, look, I'm a little bit over Windblade's face design, which is unchanging in every series, and I would like to see something a little bit different.
That's it. And just invent some new aspects to her. A new face, for example. Like as you were saying before, B, how the B's got some design aesthetics from 3 or 4, 8 different canons or series. Well,
3 or 4 or 8.
We're going to get 10 years down the time, and Windblade's going to look exactly the same because they're not going to change her from the comic at all. Anyway, we spent way too long time on this.
Possibly. Let's move on to something else that is going to be equally controversial for people.
Yes.
It is the Titans Return cartoon. We're not going to play it because every time we play someone's video, we get in trouble. But Machinima did receive. They released Machinima. I think it's Machinima. Whatever. I don't know how to pronounce this channel's name. Whatever that bloody channel name is, they released a behind the scenes video. Just sort of, as people said it, they were introducing their voice cast, which we've known for months because they're printed at the top of this poster. They announced it at the time that they cast them, but we have to be fair. We're about a month out from the premiere of the series now, so expect to see a little bit more of the Titans Return cartoon in the news. Just remember, this year we are getting 10 episodes, and they are going to be 11 minutes long each, which might actually be time enough for some character development. That sounds revolutionary.
Hopes up.
True.
But yeah, they haven't fixed the frame rate. I doubt they're going to fix the characters.
They were really talking up their voice cast in that video.
The voice cast has to talk up, don't they?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I've mistook Peter Cullen for Judd Nelson when I first watched it. I'm like, why was Prime so beady? And it was only after they showed photos of Cullen going, okay, I'm stuffed up there. But Jason David Frank looks passionate in his line delivery, so they wouldn't play any of his lines, so they're not going to let us know what Emersu sounds like.
Look, Jason David Frank may have looked passionate in his delivery, but I will just tell you a little bit of a secret. He was ordering lunch.
Okay.
He was ordering lunch. He's like, I want a Cobb salad and a side order of fries. Yes.
But it's another thing, sort of one complaint we had with the first series was all the voice performances. It sounded like they were just in a booth. They weren't in the same room acting against each other, and we've just got confirmation now that's exactly what they're doing again now.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, it's exactly the same microphone with someone standing in front of it in every different shot. It's quite correct.
Yep. Come in, read your 10 lines, and get out.
Pretty much. Titans Return is notable for a possible precedent that it might set. It has been a year since Combiner Wars. Now Titans Return is out a year later, while this time around, Titans Return figures are actually still on the shelves.
Yeah.
Titans Return is not actually late. Well, it's pretty late in the line. What this also means is that if they're going to do Power of the Primes next year, it should probably be at the height of the toy line. The toys will have been out for a year. We know that these lines run for sort of a year to 18 months. So, yeah, if that remains the case, then the Power of the Prime series will actually hit just as sort of we're heading into the final waves of toys. So,
yeah,
it can be pretty exciting. Finally.
Even though those last waves are obscure characters that will never turn up in the series anyway.
Well, we don't know about that for Power of the Primes.
The second to last wave, we got Perceptor, and he's in this series, so there's a little bit of precedent.
Yeah. Fort Max was last year.
Fort Max was like, Fort Max was last year. No, it was Metroplex who was in sort of his hand featured in Combiner Wars.
That's all they can afford.
The hand of Metroplex. Yes, no, they've been very careful with their budget, right? Like they haven't had to design Metroplex until this year, but this year they've also done Trypticon according to the thing. But the other question with this is, and like I haven't got the other image open, but the screenshots that we've seen, the pictures of Perceptor and Windblade in, they really look like the toys. And they look like the toys in a way that I've not actually seen Transformers look like their toys since, I think, Transformers Energon. When it was very obvious.
I was going to bring up Energon, Cybertron.
Yeah, but especially with Energon, where they basically based all of the on-screen figures on the toys. And it was like watching an animated toy cartoon.
The toys were made, then they scanned the bots.
One at a time. How about that?
Okay, Max.
So they pretty much just use the same CAD models, altered slightly to allow for movement between both the toys and the actual cartoon.
Yeah, exactly. That was
the
my
on-screen
point.
models. They even had the screws. They had the screw holes on the animation models.
I actually wondered at the time, like, is that meant to, like, I don't know, help kids with their imagination, like because they can see the toy on screen moving around and stuff, or I don't know.
I imagine it just saves them having to pay someone for renders.
Yeah. Our guys designed these things already. Let's use them. So yeah,
and what's our biggest hope? What's their biggest hope for figures is having them cartoon accurate. If they have the toy and scan it and animate it, then it's like we got it for animated and we got it back then.
Kind of the other way around.
A lot of people forget that. Yeah.
So the reason I bring this up is because we're staring at a giant rendition of a toy on the Titans Return poster. But the thing is that this giant Trypticon actually looks more like the G1 Trypticon than he does the Titans Return version, doesn't he?
He's lost all his detail.
Yeah,
it's the same sort of deal with the Prime and Megatron designs, or just about every design from this show and the previous one. Is that they're really sort of just 3D animated G1 style instead of actually representing the toy line that they're advertising.
Yes, true. We did find this last year with Combiner Wars as well. Like the Prime design is very G1 Prime. Also, very good reason to believe he still hasn't had that windscreen fixed. He's going to get in trouble from Vic Rhodes and the RTA, I think. Very, very disappointing. Very disappointing. Prime is meant to be a role model. I certainly wouldn't be driving around with a shattered windscreen like that.
Yep.
All right, I think we should move on. Anyone else got anything to say about Titans Return? It's going to be in the news for the next few weeks, I think. I hope they do hilarious prequels like they did last year for Combiner Wars, where every week, and I do apologize for this, Brad, every week it came up and you're sitting there going, this is shit. This looks terrible. And I'm like, just wait. The series will be out and it'll be, oh, dear.
I think the worst part of those prequels was that they got a better voice actor to do Prime's lines in the prequel than they did for the actual series.
It wasn't the same guy?
Wait, no. So I think it was the same guy.
It was John Bailey, wasn't it? Is his name John
Bailey? But in the actual show, they sped up his lines.
Did they?
I swear, I don't know for sure, but it really felt like it. Like it felt like he was just talking. It felt like they just taken his lines and just sped them up to save time.
I have to say, I have actually done this before. So, like, occasionally I'm on a radio show in Melbourne, and when we pre-record, sometimes it runs a little bit long, and I'm like, well, the show's meant to be an hour long, and we've done like an hour and 3 minutes. Why don't you just play it like 3% faster? Condense. It just sounds like we're very into what we're talking about, because it just sounds a little bit faster, a little bit more attentive. People just need to pay a little bit more attention,
and a lot less gaps.
Yes, a lot less gaps, especially if you play it through a podcast player that eliminates gaps for you. And in that case, everything sounds like this, and there's no natural pauses.
Excellent.
Okay, I think that's enough Titans Return. Let's talk a little bit about Power of the Primes. We've got a bunch of toy images and packaging images came out this week for Power of the Primes, including Inferno, which I've brought up as he's probably one of the more interesting figures here. Now, Inferno's vehicle mode doesn't necessarily give it away, but his robot mode gives away he is a hotspot repaint. So, like, they appear to be bringing out a Combiner Wars figure, and that probably implies that Inferno is going to be the center of a Combiner.
Yeah, well, from there was some leaked artwork. I'm not sure I don't think we're covering it today, but it showed the actual Combiner mode of Inferno, and he just had some random guys attached to him, so he's just going to be one of those generic Combiner pieces that can mix up anything.
So he's like Power Core Prime and his posse, right?
He's like half a bloody line.
Let's have a look at some of the other figures. This is Moonracer. It's a lot of love for this figure. A lot of people are very interested.
Yeah, I'm really.
Congratulations.
It does look really solid. They're quite posable as well.
Let's move on. I'm going backwards at the moment. So, Vector Prime has been reduced to a pretender shell.
We never brought up with the New York Comic Con releases last week. Where are we on these little pretender shelves? Is anyone keen on them? Want to get them?
So,
not really.
You need these guys for the Matrixes, don't you?
Yeah. So the little guys in this package, those are the primes, and they turn into Matrixes, and then the pretender shell it's actually literally a pretender now, because they're pretending to be another Transformer. Like, this is Vector Prime pretending to be Metal Hawk.
Good disguise. Very, very, very up on it. I thought I'd get a photo of it. Oh, hey, look at this swoop. You can sort of see. I think this is for Micronus. You can see. Is it Micronus? Yes. So you can see Micronus's matrix form plugged into the top of the gun here, which is, I believe, literally the pretender suit fallen on its face.
Yeah.
It's got things sticking out the top. They've plugged on.
No. Actually, no. Look, the gun actually sits on the back. That's cool. That's fine.
He's a one step.
It hinges up too. Yeah.
It kind of is. You just knock it over. We got
that chest.
What the fuck has happened to Jazz?
It's
the new integration for the combiner hands. Is just they plug onto the chest and then you plug a matrix into them.
I'll tell you what it looks like. It looks like Jazz is a stay-at-home dad who's attached his little baby Micronus on one of those little baby harness things where you walk around and your kid's in front of you, right?
I wasn't going to say that about Moonracer before, but you just done that about Jazz.
I didn't need that image.
I didn't really notice it with Moonracer. Oh, really?
It's just not color. It's color coded, but yeah, just
I see. Moonracer, it's much more long figure in the first place, whereas Jazz, it's a chunky figure with another massive chunk stuck on the front.
Well, it's the same size chunk. It'd have to be.
Yes, no, absolutely. Will be.
On Hunger, though, the integration looks a lot better. Like the same thing we've done with Starscream, where they just use the feet as a pair of gauntlets, I think looks really cool. Just looks kind of fun. Also interesting with Hunger is that something I didn't notice before is his feet are the dragon heads, and they've also added ankle tilts to the mold now.
I kind of get the feeling that Hasbro's designers. I mean, Brad, you said earlier that figures take about 18 months to get from inception to production, right? I think it's actually a little bit longer, but I think 18 months they can do these days. But like I've heard stories in the past of like people seeing test shots of Transformers like 2.5 years before they come out. But I kind of feel like the fact that they've been doing ankle tilts in the mainline Transformers is sort of the Hasbro designers sitting up and just going, no, third parties, we can do ankle tilts as well. just you wait till you see Hunger's feet. He'll be right up there. People will love him. And then they do things like Jazz, where they obviously have not done it. But
block leg.
He does look like he's got blocky feet, doesn't he? Everything is blocky. He needs blocks to make sure that giant block doesn't overbalance him.
He just looks like the most generic deluxe ever. He's just
Plus
so plain.
That big side of a car on the bottom of his arm.
Can I just point out that like these images are fucking terrible.
Oh, I mean, Jazz has got the same.
Do you know what would make these images look better? If someone didn't try to fill the background to black.
Yeah, that's what they've done.
Yeah, like just leave it as white. It would have looked so much better. Oh, let's keep going. No, do you want to go back?
No, I was just going to Jazz, but this guy as well on the left. They've got the same sort of skeleton as a couple of the Stunticons, where the sort of legs collapse into the knees collapse into the leg, and it sort of comes together around the hips.
Yeah. This guy also has stumpy feet syndrome. That's Ripper Snapper. Don't lean him forward; he'll probably fall over. And yeah, I'm really not liking this gimmick where you attach the Matrix onto just any bot. Like we know the Matrix has only got eyes for 2, maybe 3 bots, but yeah. Anyway, Ripper Snapper and Blackwing. We've seen these guys before in some of the earlier leaks and talked about them a bit. This is Elita 1, who is a repaint of Starscream, right?
Repaint, yeah.
She's a Voyager. She looks like she's got Popeye arms like Starscream.
Yeah, it's funny. When she was introduced into All 1, the model the design that they used was, it really looked like they were going to make her a repaint of Scourge from Titan's Return, and now they've just gone and done this instead.
Well, there's plenty of time for her to get reformatted in the comics. The ever popular, and I quite like the Legends class figures for the last few years. Scrapnel is of course a repaint. Windcharger is a new figure, and they look good, although they do seem to be stuck in the exact same pose in their box art with the exact same facial expressions as well. And then there's that.
I really love how that Moonracer's arm mode turns out. Like with the whole sort of interconnected jointing with the elbow there. I think that looks fantastic.
They've filled in the gorilla arm if that grey bit on the back used to be.
Yes. Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like they've
Jazz hasn't. And whatever's beside him.
I think that's Ripper Snapper.
Yeah. I'm combining it out. I was happy with the first 4.
I kind of agree. I don't care about the combiner aspect of these guys.
No.
It's like, yep, we've taken a Voyager figure. Yeah, well, we've out-combiner Combiner Wars.
And the funny thing is, those 2 torsos look great and detailed until it's all one colour. And all that detail's lost. So why even show it?
Yeah. Dinobots. So we got Slug. Very
black.
Very
got
very
black
G
back.
very G1 artwork for the dinos. Swoop looking blue in this version.
So yeah, there's
and
definitely going to be
completely-
2 colorways of Swoop.
Yeah, completely different color on the box art.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the render of the pterodactyl mode in the bottom corner has the red chest instead of a blue one. So I think you can pretty much say certainly now they're going to do both.
Has he got Grimlock's sword as well?
No, they all but one had a pointy sword, didn't they?
Do they? Oh, okay, there's only 2 of them in here. Fair enough.
So in G1
doesn't
anyway. Yeah.
Did they all have the same identical sword though?
No, they had the pointy swords. I don't think they're all the same sort or same size, but
fair enough. Let's talk about something that Brad will be into.
Really?
I thought you'd be into this.
Generations Inferno and Grapple. Oh.
Moving Masterpiece Barricade. We have some fresh images of him, but they are fairly low resolution, so I do apologize. But there's something. This has got the most points pointing to anything I've ever seen on a particular transformer, and including one that's pointing directly at his crotch.
Cement.
I guess this is for different color allocations that they're going.
I think they are because I think they're all like Pantone colors and stuff like that. But it is a look at what Moving Masterpiece Barricade looks like. You want to talk about gorilla arms, Brad? This guy's arms go all the way down to his knees.
Oh yeah, love it. No, this had been rumored on and off for a while. Whether it was a cancelled line, whether it was actually part of the Masterpiece or Movie Masterpiece series. Looks like it's going ahead. I don't know what the red signifies.
I think the label for this is flat black placement. So these would be the red is sort of the parts of him that are actually going to be painted black. Yeah. Ironically, yes.
Yeah, so this is
Carl looks pretty detailed.
But it does give us a great idea of what he's going to look like. And it seems like they've probably even to a greater extent than they have with Prime and B so far, just made the figure completely movie accurate.
Until you get to his feet hanging out the back of the car mode, just like the movie Bumblebee's figures.
I mean, look, given how much he's doing, I can overlook that. I mean,
I can't.
If you just take a glance at that robot mode, right? That looks like it'd be Reveltech or something. You know, just something that you wouldn't be able to transform at all because there's no way you'd be able to get it into that shape.
Oh, look, hey, it's a low quality picture of the same picture that they just showed us. And what the fuck? Anyway, let's go back to this one.
Yeah. No, and then it's just like that lockdown we've seen in the Dino, the third party cars as well from the figures. Just
I remember that from a few weeks ago. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah. Just how much the bot mode, it doesn't look like that's going to have enough flat panels on it to become a car at all, but it does. So I wonder if there's going to be an integrated frenzy at all. We haven't seen anything of it.
I mean, I was talking about it with a mate, like, as to how I'd actually get it to work, because these images don't seem to show like there's definitely a space inside the car mode, but it's
I think it looks to me like his windscreen and roof are on his back. Like he can sort of sit around under his arm there.
Yeah, well, the Bumblebee does that anyway, doesn't it? Doesn't it concertina on its back as well?
I'm actually wondering.
The entire roof like folds into the chest.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually wondering if this is like if the molds is or whatever and based on Bumblebee.
Oh, it's possibly got the same skeleton. It's a very similar car.
It wouldn't surprise me if they use some similar engineering. Like the trick for Bumblebee pulls with getting the entire roof of a car into the chest section. I feel like this guy could very easily be doing that as well.
Yeah, it's very possible. I feel like the arm folds up a bit as well.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot
they both sort of explode on transformation.
Yeah. So, Not entirely sure when this guy is actually due for release. Yeah, they.
It's not going to be years now. We're saying this.
TFW does say that there's no word on when it's actually expected to come out, but hopefully it'll be in the near future because it is a movie masterpiece. So, yeah. Last piece of news for tonight. If you've bought yourself a giant, expensive Omega Supreme from Fans Toys, prepare your bank account because there's another one.
And you got to have 3 of them.
Yes, it's true. You have to buy 3 of them as well. So, I think Fans Toys should start selling this as a 3-pack. Actually,
oh, the postal service have enough issues.
Yes, it's very true. The postal service is having enough issues. You're right. So Fans Toys 20G Terminus Giganticus has a Cybertronian Sentinel paint job, which I think Brad, you and I were saying earlier on. This looks much nicer.
Yeah, just like the blue, and that looks nice on it.
Yeah, I'm quite into it. I got to be honest. Having seen other photographs of people with this guy in their collection, there is no way I'm buying this guy. He is just too big for everything. But it looks nice. I'm happy to live vicariously through people who purchase it and post pictures of it on the discussion group.
Yeah. I think this just looks so much nicer. It's like the cool color palette as opposed to those very distinct Omega Supreme colors. Just turns out really nicely.
Yeah, I agree. It does.
Now you just want them on Gabriel instead.
Well, so that's actually an interesting question too, isn't it? What is happening with DX9's Gabriel? Because they've shown off a prototype this week where everyone's been under the impression that we've been looking at finished product shots for ages. But they're like, it's a prototype, and they're like, oh, we've attached the ladder to his foot or something like that. And it's like, no one cares. Just hurry up and finish the bloody figure.
Get it released.
Yeah, Pix and figure release, or it didn't happen, right? So ironically enough, Fans Toys has first mover advantage on a figure for once. Normally they announce their figure, and by the time they release it, it's like, there's been like 10 of them already. Yeah. This is, they've actually managed to get their original F220 out, and now it's time for the repaint.
Yep. 16 through 19 can wait another year.
They are kind of all over the place with their
numbering. Do with their numbering.
Yeah. It's looking odd, but that's exactly as you said, Jason. This is third-party companies jumping the shark. Just where the hell do you put it? we've been joking about a Unicron the size of a door frame. I'd have nowhere to put this. Even in EVA mode, it's stupidly big for stupidly big sake. I'd prefer to have just a little cardboard cutout of Omega and sit in the back of the shelf.
You can actually print this. You can print this artwork and just like cut around the edges, and there you go. You'll be fine, right?
You'll find someone's gone, just lay it down the photocopier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like I'd be much more interested in like a Iron Factory or War in Pocket type of Omega Supreme. Something to scale with those pocket figures, which would probably be still around.
Isn't just isn't the original G1 figure in scale with the Iron Factory ones?
Okay, the G1 with posability. There we go.
Yeah. Didn't someone post a picture on the group this week? Was it Metroplex or was it Fans Toys Giganticus? And they were surrounded by all the Iron Factory models going, yep, that scale seems right.
I can't remember.
I don't know if it was Omega. Yeah, I remember seeing. I just can't remember what was in it.
Yeah, it might have been Metroplex. Don't know.
Yeah.
End of the news. That is going to bring that nice little thing to a close. Let's talk about new acquisitions. Not that we have that many. Max, do you want to go first?
Yeah, so I forgot to talk about this last week, but that works out well for this week. While I was at the Adelaide Comic and Toy Fair, just NTCA, I got offered to just buy a massive tub of G1 figures, so I took up the offer, and I'm getting rid of most of it.
Figures there to sell.
Sorry?
They had figures there on sale. You've done better than us up here.
Yeah, well, these weren't even out on display. Like, this guy just came up, who I didn't even get his name. He just came up to me and said, "Oh, hey, I've got a tub of original Transformers. Do you want to buy them?"
You want to go around this back alley and deal some crack?
So, what was the condition like on them?
Some of them are pretty good. Like, it was, I think it was a complete mint scatter shot in there.
Oh, nice.
Lots of different parts and what have you. But I'm getting rid of most of it. For what I'm keeping is G1 Blitzwing, which is in lovely condition. He's a nice little figure. Lots of die cast in him. Stickers seem to be mostly there. All I'm needing is the rifle and the tank turret. And that even better is a figure which I'd actually been chasing for a while is G1 Point Blank. So,
oh, wow, nice. So that was in the tub as well?
Yeah, it was just in there, and I was...
Nice.
It was just basically
how much did you pay for this tub of figures?
I think it was like 130.
It's not bad.
But it was well worth it. Now, I've still got a pile of stuff down here, but no.
Is that his Target Master, or is that just one you've put on him to hold?
No, this is his Target Master. So with that, he's complete except for that little shield thing that he has in the hand.
I gave one of those away the other day. Oops.
He's a really nice figure, surprisingly. Like, he's a G1 figure, but he's got, a full range of motion in the arms. It's a really nice little piece.
Well, just looking at it in the color, it screams sort of G2.
It's just something that this guy's design had always appealed to me because he showed up in the Headmasters comic and always thought he looked sick.
So the question is now, are you going to get the Make Toys contact shot?
It's tempting. I only really like the design, so there's no real attachment to the character. I mean,
but you want one that's got elbows and knees.
Yeah, it's because he's got the arms. I need the legs now.
Fair enough. I'm gonna go. I have no new acquisitions this week, but I do have a pre-order, which. Look, I really like the IDW Stealth Bomber style Megatron, and Generation Toys GTO2 Tyrant is coming out, so I caved and I've pre-ordered him because look at that! How good does that look? I'm very happy with this.
No argument there.
He looks great. Although I gotta say, I kind of feel like they've just upscaled the deluxe. like in some ways it really does look like it's going to have like the exact same transformation sequence and everything. So I don't know. We'll see when he arrives. I'll put them up next to him. I've got
watching reviews. It does seem to be the general motions, at least, are very much in line with a deluxe.
Yeah.
There's more going on with that torso, though, isn't there? And those silver bits under those love handles.
Maybe, I don't know.
They're just painted bits, and they look like they're different panels or something.
Maybe.
There's a lot of folding panels in the torso, so it looks like that'll be a bit tricky.
Yeah.
But like, watching videos, the stuff they do with like filling out the shins and what have you is really genius.
Yeah, fair enough.
I've got this guy in pre-order as well. I agree with you. I can't wait for him.
All right. That is it. That is it.
I got two pre-orders too.
Brad has pre-orders.
I pre-ordered.
Remember to put the camera on yourself so that we're not looking at Tyrant for the rest of the show.
Yeah, we normally got Mikey to stop that. I got pre-ordered the last night Hot Rod.
Hot Rod.
And while I got him, I thought, well, we're never going to see any other last night figures out here, so I got Squeaks as well, and I nearly got.
What do you mean? There's tons of Squeaks everywhere.
Yeah, now that's the thing. I pre-ordered on Tuesday, and then all of a sudden the group's filled with Scorn and Nick Nitro and everyone else. It was like,
people have gone kind of apeshit for Nitro Zeus.
Yeah. There's a little
Scorn
bit
and
of
Nitro Zeus to be only laid away things I've seen here. Like it's as for deluxes, it's entirely wave 1.
Yeah. So anyway, they weren't too much. They weren't Target prices and they weren't Toys R Us prices, so they were in between, which was good with free shipping. So lovely. Should have them by the end of the next week.
Very nice. All right, that is it. We're gonna call time, and we did talk about the Christmas donation drive. Will be starting up in the next couple of weeks, but before that happens, you should probably consider joining the club. We do this as a little bit of a labor of love, but we do like going along to conventions, talking to like-minded Transformers fans, and encouraging them to join us and come hang out with us. And we've done this to the tune of like nearly 2,700 members in the discussion group now. If you appreciate what we've done, if you appreciate just us providing a nice safe place for Transformers fans to chat and sell pieces, please consider throwing $5 our way, because that's how we finance those tables at Supernova. It's how we go out and find new fans and talk to them. So you can find details for becoming a paid and proud member of the Transformers Collectors Club Australia at transformerscca.com. That's the website. It's transformerscca.com. Just $5 is all it takes. $5 a year, and membership runs over the course of the financial year, so July to June.
Yep, jump on board. We do the member giveaways and that as well. Arno Palmer last month won a Junkion Matrix of Leadership.
Just for existing.
Yep, just for a $5 membership. So jump on board,
Chuck
guys.
some money our way and keep Brad sane.
It's actually too late.
It's going to take more than that.
All right. Thank you for listening, everyone. Australian Transformers Weekly, if you could not tell, is produced by Transformers Collectors Club Australia. You can find our website at transformerscca.com. Find the podcast on iTunes or your podcatcher of choice. Please head over to iTunes, give us a review if your podcatcher allows reviews, because a bunch of them are now starting to add reviews and ratings. Please give us a nice rating, hopefully. You can find our it's not really new podcast anymore. Transformers Legends, our companion, where they will talk about a lot of the toys and figures and series aimed at younger kids. Like I was going to say Robot Heroes.
Not quite that young.
Rescue Bots and the upcoming Rescue Bots Academy and Transformers RID. That is Transformers Legends. You can find it on Facebook and find it on the TCCA YouTube channel. And the website is tflpod.podbean.com. Thank you for listening, everyone. And we will be back next week with all the latest Transformers news, views, opinions, feels, feel opinions, feel views, news opinions, and love.
Jason's having a stroke.
Someone get a stick.
I'm just starting to put words together. Anyway, we will be back next week, and we'll love the news at you.
Lovely. See you guys.
Goodbye.
Catch you later.
All right.